Welcome back. My name's Dave Burt. I'm going to show you how to do 4-note chords. If you recall, last time we were together, we were looking at triads. Of course, there are 12 of them. We have 12 tones on the piano. So our C chord had a particular shape of white, white, white. So did the F chord, and so did the G chord. And the triangle group, which I call triangle because of the white, black, white shape, is good for the D chord, the E chord, and the A chord. The reverse triangle, black, white, black, is good for the D flat chord, the E flat chord, and the A flat chord. And for lack of a better way of describing it, I call it the odd group. They kind of march to their own drummer. The B flat chord, it's a black, white, white. The B chord, exactly the opposite, a white, black, black. And the F sharp or G flat chord, all black. And those are the 12 basic chords. So now we want to extend those into 4-note chords. In order to do that, let's just make sure we understand the difference between whole tones and half tones. A half tone, by definition, says it's the distance from one note to the very next note without exception. So if I were to move my pin in among the black and the white notes, as long as I don't miss a note, I'm playing nothing but a series of half tones or semitones. Even from there to there, that's a semitone. They're all semitones. So therefore, if I wanted to do a whole tone, it's going to be the distance of 2 half tones. So from here to here's a half tone, so from there is a whole tone. So I skip a note, go to the next. Skip a note, go to the next, playing nothing but whole tones. Skip a note, go to the next. Skip this note, go to the next. That's the next whole tone in the series. Skip a note, go to the next. Skip a note, go to the next. So we want to make sure we know the difference between whole tones and half tones, because we're going to use whole tones to find our 6s and 7s. So let's go back to our trusty C chord, all white. Keeping my thumb free for that 4th note for a while now, let's put it to use. So I know that the 6 is a whole tone above the 5th, and I know the 5th of C is G, so a whole tone above that is A. If I wanted to find the 7th, well, I'm going to look for the root, see what that is. That's a C. I'm going to go up to the next C and down a whole tone, and there is my 7th. The 2 chords are as different as day and night. They're only a half tone apart from one another, but the 7th is a very active, pushy chord, wants to go somewhere else, where the 6 is rather passive, just sits there like a fat cat, doesn't want to go anywhere. If I wanted to play a D6 chord, there's my D chord. I know A is my 5th, the whole tone above that will have to be my 6. If I wanted a 7th, I'll look for the next D up, down a whole tone, there's my D7 chord. If I want to make it minor, well, we did that before. We know we just flatten the 3rd, a half tone. There's my D minor 7. Has its own shape of nothing but every other white note. Here I've got an E chord. An E6 would be there. An E7 would be there. An F7, F7. Whole tone below the next root up. If I want to make it minor, of course, simply flatten the 3rd. So my B flat chord is here, a 6, a whole tone above. If I wanted to make it a 7th, I look for the next B flat up, down a whole tone. Boy, you can really hear that chord activate when I push that A flat. It definitely doesn't want to stay there, it wants to move on. Where the 6, rather passive. Even if I do the chord in its minor form, as in B flat, minor, 7, that 7 still activates a chord, not as strongly as it does in its major B flat or B flat 7 chord, but you can still hear it coming in. Activation, move on. As I said, 6s are used a lot to thicken up the soup, as you will, add cream to the soup. If I took a simple F chord, F, A, C, and put another F up here, and say I wanted to do some sectional work with some saxophone, say I had an alto saxophone here, and 2 tenors here, and a baritone there. And let's say that I had them blow. Well, I might thicken it up a bit by bringing in another alto and putting them on the 6, whole tone above the 5th. Now listen to the sound. More bulk, is it better? No, that's open for you to decide, but it's certainly thickens it up. So that's basically the story of sixths and sevenths. Remember, a seventh is a whole tone back from the next root up. The sixth is a whole tone above the fifth. Look forward to getting with you in another session soon, and we'll go into some extended harmony starting with our ninths. Have a great day.